Hello and welcome to Let Supreme Ghost the Dark mod. It's been quite a long time, to be honest with you, since I did the training mission for this mod. So it feels like I'm doing this all over again. So if you don't know what the Dark mod is, then I won't spend too much time talking about it. You can watch my video from the training mission. I will link to that in the video description. But it's essentially a mod, a fan-made mod for the Doom 3 game. It's now a standalone release, so you don't have to buy any games to play this. It's free. You can download it, and there are close to 150 fan missions for this. So the version that I'm playing is 2.09. which is the recent most release or update, but they are currently updating it every couple of months maybe or something like that. There are smaller updates released. So we're going to try today to Supreme Ghost our way through the first official mission, the one called Mission 1, a new job, that you get automatically when you install the mod. You get the training mission and you get 2 missions besides that. So I'm going to play those 2 first to begin with, and the first one is a new job today. So we are currently in the process of writing an amendment spearheaded by Marble Man, but there's been quite a bit of good discussion on the Ghost discussion forums on TTLG, where we have made an amendment to the Ghost rules that pertains to the Dark mod only. I'm not going to go through all of that in this video. I will go through the differences between Thief and the Dark mod, because there are quite a few, but I'll do that during the playthrough of this mission or for upcoming missions. I'm not going to do that all right now. But it's obviously a very different game, even though it is a recreation of the Thief universe. It doesn't play the same way. There are added challenges, there are things that are easier, things that are more convenient and inconvenient. So we have tried to adhere to the original Ghost rules as much as we can, but there are changes we've made. And we're still testing them, so they're not set in stone. So this is part of that testing, and any input that you can give on how you think the Ghost rules play out in this mod through these videos, just let me know. One thing I want to say is that, let's see, in the difficulty section, it is required for you to play on the highest difficulty. So we have decided that that means you need to crank the AI vision up to hardcore and AI hearing up to hardcore. Now, hearing is actually cranked up higher than vision is. If you go into the configuration files, you can see that it's cranked up to, I think it's 1.5. But vision is close to 1, or maybe 1 exactly. Lockpicking and combat difficulty are not pertaining to ghosting, really. So those we have left up to the player, so I put those on the easiest. Combat we're not going to get into anyway. And lockpicking, the only thing that changes is how long the pause when you can release the key and successfully unlock something lasts. So the whole lock doesn't become harder or easier, it's just that pause that gets shorter. So I put it on the longest pause so that for the sake of this video it'll be easier for me to pick locks. That's really all I want to say up front. So we're going to dive right into this, and we're going to go to new mission. Mission 1, a new job. We'll start that right here and listen to the briefing.
I go by many names in this city. Outlaw, rogue, thief. The few people who know me call me Corbin. My job is to acquire valuable items for the rich. Sounds easy, but these items are usually owned by someone already, someone who doesn't want to part with them. Luckily, I'm quite good at what I do. Tonight I'm meeting someone who wants to hire me for a job. I don't know the details yet, but an associate of mine has vouched for him, and the message managed to pique my interest. I'm supposed to meet my contact in a courtyard south of Canonbury Tavern. Canonbury is popular with wealthy travelers, and it just so happens that a Lord Rothwick is staying there tonight. I'm told he has a purse full of very expensive rubies with him. I've decided to arrive in the area a little early and engage in a bit of burglary. A tavern won't have the same level of security as a private estate, and it shouldn't be too difficult to find what room Lord Rothwick is in. The guest names are in the registry. I can help myself to that purse and still meet my contact in the courtyard on time. Not bad for a night's work. I've booked a room near the tavern. The sun is down, my gear is ready, and the city awaits. It's time to begin.
Okay. So in the objectives, of course, we have to choose what in this mission is called the Dark Mod Veteran. So I think the only difference here is gold. Not even between new to stealth and normal, there isn't any difference. So we have to find our way to Canonbury Tavern and get inside. We have to find loot worth at least 640 gold pieces. And we have to meet our contact in the southeast corner of Royston Court. That's after we're done. Notice that the gold here is even optional, so this is definitely a training mission. But for Supreme, optional objectives are still required. So we obviously can't buy any equipment. Notice that you can drop equipment in the Dark Mod before you start. That is not required to do, because you already have picked them up, obviously, before you start. So it's just to pick up more items that is not allowed for Supreme. And the prices are different in the Dark Mod compared to Thief. But anyway, I'm not going to talk too much about the differences, except for where there are subtle things that pertain to ghosting that you guys might not notice. But yeah. So we are going to go ahead and start.
The back alleys of Bridgeport. You can get almost anywhere unseen, if you know your way through the maze.
Okay, so we are going to make a real save to begin with. I have a couple of saves here, I'm just going to call it 1. Quick save as well. There's no map in this mission, and we are carrying a compass, a lantern, a spyglass, our lockpicks, and then something called the stealth statistics. This is something that we have decided to strongly suggest that all ghosters use, because the stealth summary at the end of the mission breaks down the alerts, which there are 5 different types of. But you can't see the stealth score and the results of the alerts until the end of the mission. And this is quite an unadvantage, because you might have been alerted in ways that you haven't detected. So then you're going to get a huge surprise at the end of the mission and realize that you didn't ghost properly. So this way you can check your stealth score throughout the mission. This isn't a cheat. It is just one file that I will put a link to in the video description that you can download, and as long as you start any mission with this file in your Dark Mod folder, then you will get the statistic document. It doesn't actually count as a document, so if you click the document button it won't show up, but you can obviously just pull up your inventory and click on the stealth statistics. So if you use that, you will see the stealth score up in the top left, and it'll even break it down how many suspicions you got, how many searches, and how many sightings, and then how many bodies you've created as well. So at the end of the mission we'll break down those alerts and see, but all I want to say right now is that for regular ghosts you are allowed to have level 1 alerts, which is one of the 2 types of suspicions, but those level 1 alerts do not add to the stealth score. So the stealth score will be 0, but you might have suspicions. For Supreme, all of them have to be 0. Okay? But there are alerts that you can hear guards make that do not count towards the stealth score. So those I will discuss once we get to it. So we have to find our way to Canonbury Tavern and get inside there. Let's do that. Okay, here's some kind of back alley. Here's a homeless guy. Food not works. I'm not going to read these posters that are not items that you can actually fob or highlight. But you can read them if you want to. It's just a part of the... Some of these are existing in many missions. So here's some kind of a back alley. Up here, you can see there is a broadhead arrow that you can take. And we need to climb up on this pipe right here, which you can do without stacking any crates if you do it directly from this. Let's see. It's a little bit tricky to get that jump going properly. Let's see here. Back up there. There we go. Just got to find the angle. And we can climb up here as well. Let's see. Listen to a conversation here between some guards.
The city watch makes the main streets a lot riskier. Even regular citizens might raise a hue and cry if they see someone dressed like me.
The old man said the builders are harassing the girls behind the inn. Says it's bad for business.
What does he want us to do about it? Builders don't carry those hammers for decoration, you know. They'll bash your skull in right quick. And who's going to stop them? You think a church court will hang one of their own? We ain't gonna rap on the knuckles. That's what they'll get. And they'll be back on the streets by breakfast.
The city needs to put a stop to it. You let a dog roam free in the kitchen long enough, and soon he thinks he owns all the food.
Okay. So now we can actually start with ghosting. Let's see. They will verbally say something if they alert, so we just got to be careful here. Over here, there are 2 water arrows right there. And then there's a newspaper over here. So for the newspapers, I'm only going to read sort of the main articles. I'm not going to read all these little ads around. You can obviously read them. Miracle at St. Roderic's, Mill Street, February 17th. Several penitents have reported a miracle at St. Roderic's Church. A statue of St. Lucia has been seen to weep tears of blood on multiple occasions. Many witnesses have reported that they have seen this with their own eyes. While the cause is not known, the faithful are certain it is a sign from the master builder himself. The Archbishop of Bridgeport has been called upon to confirm the miracle and plans to visit St. Roderic's shortly. In the meantime, many worshippers are going to the tiny church to pray for healing and good fortune. Traders attacked by savages. Flakebridge, November 12th. A group of traders 2 days east of Flight Bridge were attacked by savages. Many men were slain and injured, and their goods were taken. The builder roads surrounding Flake Bridge Monastery have not been maintained or guarded for years, and attacks by tribes of savages have increased in recent months. Travelers are encouraged to avoid them, and traders to move their goods by boat. So I like to check this statistics, whenever I've done something and I haven't really paid attention to enemies, I guess. Let's see. Okay. So we are going to end up getting a piece of loot out here that's actually really difficult. It's up there in a nest. It's a ring. So when he comes by, we can go over there and get it. Found that if you creep and then tap your run button, that doesn't make any sound really. As such. So here, we have our first problem. You can see the nests up there. If we drop down on this pipe now, we're going to make a lot of noise. It's not possible to drop, even for a very short distance, without making noise in the dark mod. That's something you could do if you just held crouch in Thief. But if you land in a mantle, you can do it. There you saw we didn't get any alerts there. And creep is also very useful. Here we get our first piece of loot. Jeweled ring worth 40. Creep is very useful. If you creep, even if and you stand and move forward, it's very rare that enemies will hear you. Now, in order to get down here, again, we can't drop onto the pipe. So we want to run and jump straight for the roof there. See if we can do that now. So there you heard the noise. So somebody, that even busted Ghost. So somebody alerted and then stopped and looked for us. That isn't a search hunt mode, but it's enough to bust Ghost. And I'll talk about that at the end of the mission. So we have to just wait for the cycle to go away here. The only way that we can do this is if we run directly onto the roof. So I won't click this on too often. I've done it quite a bit right now, but because it's a little bit of an immersion breaker, I guess. That they heard. Both of them gave, what would it be a first alert there? To wait for them to go further away. There. There we're good. if we can drop onto the tree here, yeah. Okay. So the intended way around here. Oh, I pushed that bottle out of the way. Not that that's that big of a deal, but. Go around here, right? Try that at least. There. Okay, so this is the intended way into the Canonbury Tavern. So let me just show you some things here. There we go. So that completed the objective. Okay. So down here, we don't have anything to pick up really, but we want to take a look at the filth. There's so much detail. You can just, you know, if you're in a normal basement, you would never sit and look at all the trash, but in a video game, it's fun, isn't it? So here's even a lift. Now there is a woman, a maid, that actually comes down here occasionally. Here's some kind of desk with some writing on it. And here's an interesting bottle that has 1612 with the 1 crossed out on it on the table. See that? It looks like it's been handwritten and crossed out. Odd. Now let's see here. Let's lower that.
Who lets the children stay up so late? Ah, there'll be little beasts.
So here's the maid. She comes down occasionally, but now we will see if she does. If she raises up this lift, I guess. Let's see. She's given a couple of first alerts here. Okay. So I just wanted to show you guys the upstairs here. So this is the kitchen where she works in the tavern. The only thing of interest in here is a health potion up here. So they don't call it healing potion, they call it health potion, just to be slightly different. Nothing else. And this is... That's the main entrance to the restaurant here. But we're actually not going to take this way in. I don't want to pick locks unnecessarily. So we're going to actually head in through the main entrance, believe it or not. Let's see. Now in here, you have 2 broadhead arrows. And there's the front guard. Let's make a real save there. Check our stealth stats, which is all good. Oh, here comes the other patrollers. They go all the way down here. So we'll wait for them.
Wasting my nights walking the streets for hours. I could be looking for some fat nobleman in a warm mansion.
Okay. Let me see. We probably have to wait for both of them to leave. I could have come from the other side too here. There should be a patch of shadow right behind that pillar there. Here.
Great. They're all probably playing cards and drinking beer right now. And where am I?
So this mission is possible to do and complete with full loot and 0 stealth score. Perfect stealth score, I should say, because you can get a 0 stealth score and still have some level 1 alerts. Okay, let's see if we can go now.
What was that?
So that was the level 1 alert. Oh, that was the other guy there. Try to be a little bit quicker here. Yeah, we got spotted there. There's a water arrow in that bucket there, by the way. There. Okay. So now we checked off that objective. Oh, I don't like that there isn't a cursor for the objectives, or for the map for that matter. Search Lord Rothwick's room for the rubies. We've gotten that objective now. So here's the maid. And she doesn't come over here. She goes in behind the bar, which is right there, and just roams around a little bit. We're going to listen to a conversation between these two guests that we heard the start of earlier.
Hey, did you see the Moorish guards they have protecting the vizier? I
Oh
wonder
dear.
what those curved swords would be like in a fight.
I heard those swords are just for show. They say the Moors can use magic to summon genies and wind and stuff.
They fight by summoning genies. What do they do, huh? Rub a lamp?
And winds. They can summon really, really strong winds.
Nice.
Oh, sure. Better make sure the washer wench doesn't pick a fight with one on laundry day, then.
Cheeky
I love that conversation. I love the accent. Really, really strong winds. It's just ultra British or ultra British. Okay, guest log. Room 1, nothing. Room 2,
Look at them.
to be cleaned. Room 3, John Smith, newspaper, early breakfast. Room 4, Lord Rothwick, hey. Expensive wine, incense burner, use of safe. Interesting. Room 5, nobody. Okay, so we're going to head upstairs actually right away. To the rooms. So back there is the door that leads to the kitchen.
Pretty quiet around here tonight.
And then there is a room over there as well. So the dark mod, as I said in one of my previous videos, is a lot more difficult to ghost. Just because the enemies are a lot more alert.
Who lets the children stay up so late? Oh, they'll be little beasts in the morning.
So here's a guard. He has an eye patch, which I think actually Corbin is going to point out now in a minute or so. Which means, and it's on his left eye, so it means that to his left side he will not see hardly at all.
A one-eyed guard. This must be my lucky day.
I think we did it. Good. So this is room 4. This is Rothwick right here. So that's good. Let me check. Check something. Okay, it doesn't look like my run key
What was that sound?
is working if I'm creeping. That is weird. It's working when I am holding crouch for some reason. Okay. Not sure what that's about. I might try to fix that before the next mission. Alright, so in here we have a couple of things. We've got to be very careful here, because sleeping enemies can give level 1 alerts without actually saying anything. So if you don't use the stealth tool, you're not going to know. So you have to use creep, hold creep down at all times here in this room. Let's see, yeah, okay, we're going to actually get his key first. This footlocker here is pickable. But it actually responds to his key as well. He does not detect us. He does not detect us. Picking up that key. Lock it again, and we cannot drop it. I'm trying to drop that key right now, but I can't. There's the incense burner. In here we have a bottle of wine worth 110, total 200. Then over here we have a secretary desk. Isn't that what they call those? We can get his ring worth 25. I'm just going to check this because, yeah, zeros across the board. Great. First time I played this mission, I thought that opening the desk here actually gave him a level 1 alert, but it doesn't. It was probably me just letting go of the creep key a little bit too soon. Okay. So, Rothwick's journal, we're going to read that. I hate this city. Soot and stench everywhere. And not only do thieves hide in the dark alleys, but they come out of the very sky. I was walking by a transmitter tower next to the tavern this morning when a damn magpie swooped down and stole a ring right out of my hand. Rolf just stood there like a dolt, or dot, maybe, as the bloody bird mocked me from up on the pipes above the street. I should get Rolf a bow. This is supposed to be a safe neighborhood, but I saw 2 Moors on the street outside last night. People seem to think they are here with that ambassador, but these 2 looked like they were up to no good. They were following a well-dressed man down the street, and they obviously didn't want him to know it. How am I supposed to feel secure with that kind of thing going on? The innkeeper has put my jewels in an iron safe in his room. He wouldn't tell me the combination. When I asked what would happen to the contents if he forget what it was, he just laughed and said, when that happens, he goes and gets drunk at his workbench. What an odd fellow. If it weren't for that trade fair of the Inventors Guild, I wouldn't leave Braden. But the devices they had on display were a wonder to behold. Lanterns that can follow behind you and light up the streets. Truly a marvel. 'Tis a shame Bridgeport keep these wonders for itself. All their blueprints are in code, and any inventor that tries to leave the city is executed. I suppose Bridgeport would have fallen to our enemies long ago without those inventor machines guarding the harbor, so I cannot fault their caution. I'll be leaving in the morning, and glad of it. So, here, again, I can't use a pointer, but on the right-hand side, lower paragraph, it says that he will go get drunk at his workbench. That probably means he is referring to the bottle that said, wasn't it 1612 and 1 was crossed out? So then 162 should be the code, shouldn't it? I think that's what it was. So now we got searching his room checked off, and we need to get the rubies from the innkeeper's safe. That is now the new objective. Oh yeah. Let's check. Did I? Okay, so we can actually return this book. Oh, can't do that. Oh well, I think it fixed itself, didn't it? Yeah. So this is a little tricky. I don't know, eavesdropping doesn't seem to work very well for me. Okay, I didn't know where he was, so there. Did not get any alerts there either. So here we have, this is room 3. So, oh. Did not hear that. Good. We have to move this off. And get the person here. Worth 50, total 275, and then we have to place back the candle. This kind of stuff I love. I love the object manipulation in the dark mod. Nothing in there, but here's the newspaper. Electrification kills doctor. One Dr. Cleary, a surgeon at Belhaven Hospital, was burned horribly, resulting in his death, while operating electrified devices inside the hospital. The electrification of Belhaven Hospital, funded by Lord Belhaven himself, was touted as a great step forward into the modern age. It seems that the modern age has claimed another victim. Dr. Cleary was a wealthy and learned man who gave up much in order to help the poor souls of Belhaven. The hospital is accepting donations. Warren's quarantine still in effect. The Warren's district of Bridgeport remains under quarantine from a plague, the source of which appeared to be the unfortunate vessel Fair Maiden, which still lies at anchor in the docks there. Though the plague appears to have run its course, killing nearly all of its district's residents, a few survived. The quarantine will remain in effect until money is found to tow the Fair Maiden out to sea and sink her. Interesting. So there's nothing else in any of the rooms up here. They're all empty. Nothing to do or see or anything like that. I guess I can use the inventory, right? Isn't that better like that? So he didn't see that. I'm not sure why. But enemies can't see doors being open, and if they do, they say something and they...
What?
So yeah. Okay, we'll wait for him. See, there he alerted. They're pretty unpredictable in when they alert to doors. If they do, they say something, they go in, and look around, then they go back out and close the door. And that doesn't count towards the stealth score, though. But that would be allowed for Ghost. It would not be allowed for Supreme. Supreme would not, with the current rules, enemies detecting doors being open is not allowed for Supreme. Now we're going to head into the Innkeepers, which is right here. Okay, he has...
Something move?
He heard that, I think. It wasn't quite enough. Get the purse there. Did he hear that? Did not. So the purse there was worth... Oops. worth 50, total 325. Can mantle up here unseen. We can get on the bed and crawl over the bed. We can read another newspaper. Lord Belhaven to host Vizier Ibrahim Saif al-Dawla, the Vizier of Aqaba, has come to the city to discuss greater trade between the great merchants of Bridport and the southern spice barons of Arabia. The Vizier is being hosted by no less than Lord Belhaven himself. A great honor to this powerful emissary from the south. Bridgeport's harbors already welcome many Arabian ships, more than anywhere else of Manoa. Town sacked by barbarians. The northern town of Aberdeen, or Aberdeen maybe, has been ravaged by pagan barbarians who have grown more and more bold over the last few years. Imperial troops withdrew from the town in the fall as they were needed to defend the trade routes of Braden. Loyal citizens of the Empire, left to fend for themselves, were slaughtered in all manner of horrible ways.
No wonder they're always half drunk. I told him to put a lock on the wine cellar, but did he listen? No.
Great comment. We are fortunate here in Bridgeport that we can rely on our own city watch to guard the walls and the wonders devices of the Inventors Guild to guard our harbors. Travelers are warned to avoid the northern roads. Interesting. Okay. Oh. He did not hear that. Okay, lucky. Alright, so here's the safe. Interesting. Bunch of stuff on top, but nothing important. Okay. So the way this works is you have to... I had a long time figuring out how to use this. You choose it, and then you use the mouse wheel. Select it. There we go. 162. Awesome. Right behind him, huh? So we have a bracelet worth 85, purse worth 50, and then the rubies worth 175, total 635, and that checks off the objective.
What did I see there?
So he heard me. I don't know why. My creep button isn't... Oh, okay, I did take it. I thought so. Then we basically just have to go over to open the safe again. There, perfect. Okay, so the only other thing to do here is to get his key here. So you can't touch him. That's a good thing in Dark Mod. They don't allow anybody to touch. So here we gotta stay a little bit further away. See, he's bobbing his head left and right.
What did I see there?
When he does that, that's not just idle movement. He's actually moving his head and seeing left and right. I like that you also can walk on up a little ledge like that without needing to mantle it. That doesn't work on that. Okay, good. Cashbox key, that we're gonna need. When she leaves, we can go over and do that. Oh, so leaning also around corners exposes you. That it didn't do in Thief. So that's something you have to get used to. Yeah, she didn't give us any. So when she leaves for the kitchen, we're going to head in there and grab the cash box, which is over there.
Need a good dose of salt.
How'd you do at the game last night?
Could be worse.
Let's see here. How much did we get? 673, that's right. We took 4 stacks of gold coins and 2 stacks of silver coins. Then we have what we need. So, cash box key, silver key, those we cannot return. It's not possible to drop them. So then we are not obviously needing to drop them when you can't, and it's not a bust to do so. Basically all we have to do now is end the mission, essentially. Let's hope we can do that here. Not here, but get out of the tavern, I mean this way. There. Awesome. The rest should be pretty straightforward here.
There's the tavern. That garden front is a problem. I'll either need to distract him or find another way in.
So that is what he's supposed to say when we get there from the other side. So there's one more building we can get into, this one right here. Let's see, we can actually mantle up here, weirdly enough. So we got a couple of alerts there from him. Let's see. Okay, I don't know why I can't get up there, but let's let me actually make a real save here. Should be possible for us to do this. we have to wait for that guard to leave, basically. We don't have any rope arrows in this mission either. So maybe you could climb up that. We don't have any alerts yet. No. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Okay, good.
What made that sound?
Oh, here it is. Yeah, good. Okay. This is where we can get up. Okay, good. So here there's a... Oh, not that. There's a purse and a stack of gold coins. Total 703, and that's max loot in the mission. It's just a little apartment here that we can get into, and there's another newspaper to read. Springheel Jack strikes again. One Jane Alsop reported that on the night of 19 February, she answered the door of her father's house to a man claiming to be an officer of the watch, who told her to bring a light, claiming we have caught Spring-Heeled Jack here in the lane. She brought the person a candle and noticed that he wore a large cloak. She later described him as being of tall, thin, and gentlemanly appearance. When she handed him the candle, he threw off the cloak and presented a most hideous and frightful appearance, vomiting blue and white flame from his mouth, while his eyes resembled red balls of fire. He tore at her clothing with sharp claws. She screamed for help and managed to get away from him and ran towards the house. Neighbors chased the figure. Several witnesses claimed that he escaped by jumping over a 9-foot-high wall while babbling with high-pitched, ringing laughter. Bridgeport, February 10th. The City Watch has arrested a man calling himself Red Kinney, charged with cutting off the hand of one Gerald Crawley. Kinney is rumored to be a member of the Keshka Brotherhood, a violent gang of foreigners who have come to our city from northeastern borders of the Empire. Interesting. Okay. So we have to leave this ajar like that. It was a little bit open. Last check of that, and we are good to go. Okay, so this is actually Royston Court. One thing that Arkmod is beautiful. So we're going to meet our contact right here.
Corbin? Is that you? If you'll follow me, we can talk about the details.
Let's do that. Awesome. So that was a successful, perfect Supreme Ghost of a new job. A very easy mission, though. The next one will not be easy. But let's take a look and discuss the mission statistics here. So it's a little bit different than in Thief. So damage dealt 0 and received 0. Health restored 0. Pockets picked 1. That was the key, the silver key from Rothwick. That's right, when he was sleeping. Loot acquired 703 out of 703. Killed by the player 0, KO'd by the player 0, and bodies found by AI 0. So here we have the alerts: 0 suspicious, 0 searches, 0 sightings, and stealth score 0. So if you've played the Dark Mod, you probably know how this works. But alert 1, that level does not give you any stealth score points. So you can see that this number here, 0, is the number of times you got number alert 1, which was 0. And you multiply that by the stealth score modifier, which is 0. So you can have 100 of these multiplied by a 0, and it's not going to add to your stealth score. But if you get any of these, that busts supreme. So you have to have 0 all across the board here, at least, and follow all the other rules. Alert 2 is then something that didn't exist in Thief. It's when the enemy mumbles, give a verbal cue for first alert, but then he stops and looks around without actually moving towards where you were. So it's sort of a more amped up first alert. Those are not allowed for Ghost either. And each of those will give you 1 point towards your stealth score. So if you get one of those, you will get at least a 1 in the stealth score, and then you've busted Ghost. So that's very easy to see then if you have busted Ghost, because you have to get a 0 stealth score, but you can have many alert 1s for regular Ghost. Alert 3 is when the enemy searches for you, doesn't find you, and go back to their original position. So that is hunt mode in Thief. That gives you 2 points, and you're obviously not allowed to do that either for any mode. Alert 4 is when they search and they get a whiff of you, they will run towards you and draw their weapon without actually having seen you, but they've been alerted so much that they know you are there. And 5 is if they see you and start attacking, and that's obviously nowhere near where we're going to be. So that's the breakdown of it. I'd really like your opinion on how this worked out. We're obviously going to play more missions and figure that out later on, how this works when we have to take busts and have to make choices. So until next time, thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.